everybody, and welcome to this month's From Shambles to Shambhala. I feel as if I'm in a bit of a shambles at the moment. I'm in the midst of moving from my apartment to a smaller one. So I'm taking the opportunity to declutter and only focus on what really matters, which is what we are supposed to be doing at this time. Decluttering our space and decluttering our mind, and just really focus on what matters at this sacred time here on the planet. There's so much chaos and confusion and polarization taking place on the planet. It's really important for us to stay calm and centered and really follow our own truth, do our own research, listen to the different points of view, and then make up our own mind in terms of whatever it is we need to do for our future self. But we are confident this is all going to lead to a really wonderful outcome once we move through the final chaotic nodes of what is taking place on the planet. Today I just want to talk about this sequence of 3 full moons that take place each year at this time. The first one is the full moon that takes place in Aries, and that dictates the time of Easter. And so this year the full moon was about March 28th, and then Easter followed the following weekend. So Easter Sunday is the first Sunday after that full moon. And this is the Christed full moon. It's the energy associated with Easter weekend, the Christ consciousness and the resurrection. Then the following full moon, which is the full moon that takes place with the sun in Taurus and the full moon in Scorpio, is called the Wesak full moon, and it's the celebration of the Buddha's birthday, and it's a time when the Buddha returns to the earth through the Wesak Valley high in the Himalayas, and he brings an offering of 8 minutes, a blessing from the Buddha for all of the followers. And it's interesting to note that in that particular mythology, the Christ is present. So the Christ and the Buddha act as brothers together on these 2 full moon occasions. Now there is a little bit of controversy around it, and I'll explain why. The traditional celebration of the Buddha's Wesak is usually measured by the full moon in May, which would not be until May 26th. But it is, from my perspective anyway, and I think many others, the full moon in Scorpio that matters as far as the celebration of the Buddha is concerned. So this year it's April 26th, and so there is certainly a number of people that will be celebrating the Wesak next month, but I feel strongly that it is supposed to be in the Scorpio-Taurus energy. Then the third full moon, again keeping in alignment, the next full moon, which is May 26th, is the Gemini full moon. And the Gemini full moon is all about the people, and the people communicating, spreading the seeds, pollinating the story that came from the Christ and the Buddha. So from my perspective, it makes total sense that the 3 full moons line up with each other, going from the Christed full moon in the sign of Aries, with the moon in Libra, the Wesak with the sun in Taurus and the moon in Scorpio, and the Gemini with the moon in Sagittarius. Now we've just gone through the transformation from the sign of Aries into the sign of Taurus, and if you remember last month we had a lineup of a significant number of planets and asteroids all clustered in Aries. So this was like the first seeding being sown for this next stage of development. And now what's happened is that shift has gone from Aries into Taurus. So this is now the sort of steady building blocks to start building towards the future. So this is laying down the foundation for what is to come. And again, there are now 7 different planets and asteroids all lined up in Taurus. And Venus is in her own sign of Taurus, which means that this is about really connecting to Mother Earth herself and the sensuous nature of life. And this is the most wonderful, perfect time to get grounded into Mother Earth. And as we continue moving through spring to evolve even further. This full moon taking place in Scorpio is called the flower full moon. For obvious reasons, it's when the flowering begins. And this year it is a super full moon, very intense, and there are these 7 planets in the fixed signs. So there may be situations where people really dig their toes into their own beliefs and their own values. And it's not a time to be getting into any disputes with people, because it's unlikely that people will shift and move in terms of their own beliefs at this time. So it's much wiser to seek your own counsel, seek your own inner truth, and spend time outside with Mother Earth as she warms up in the northern hemisphere, moving towards Beltane, which is next weekend, May the 1st. And actually this year the actual 15 degrees of Taurus will be on May the 4th. So people celebrate May Day, Beltane, on the 1st, but to get the exact precise midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice needs to be at 15 degrees Taurus, which actually is on May the 4th this year. And Beltane is this fire ceremony. It's the warming of Mother Earth. It's the return to the light. And it is revering of Bridget, the Irish Celtic saint who was turned into Saint Bridget from the original pagan Bridget. And it's the connection to holy wells and the pure waters and all of the spirits coming out to dance with Bridget. So it's a really happy time of fertility and warming and just getting beyond the winter finally and enjoying the great outdoors. And so I really hope that you have a great time over this week, leading into Beltane and then into the summer, and looking forward to the summer solstice when we reach our zenith.